Okay, so my name is Jackson. I'm currently in the show Magic Mike Live. And believe it or not, I would not be still in the show Magic Mike Live if it wasn't because of the X39. And how I can say that is, let me start from the very beginning. So I was in this country a couple of years and then I had a car crash. And I got hit from a truck from behind at 150 mph downhill. So basically, it shook my body. The car I was in, the Range Rover, was complete wreck. I was very lucky to be standing and alive. Cut a few months later, all the insurance stuff was going ahead, blah blah blah, and I met this doctor, and he was like, "Have you ever thought about injecting stem cells?" And I was like, "No, it's too expensive." So 6 months down the line, I end up meeting the lady that promotes a company called R3. She now is one of the CCOs for R3 Stem Cell, which is a leading stem cell company in this country. And she was like, "How about we give you free stem cells?" Because to believe it, I had herniated discs in my spine, I had a herniated disc in my neck, my knees, my MCL. I tore ligaments in my knees, so basically my knees were pretty much, excuse my French, fucked. And I was in pain constantly. So I was lucky enough to get these injections. I had quite a few million first time round, and then I went in for the second. So did it help? A little bit, but the aching and the throbbing was constant. And every time I'd do 2 shows a day, I'd have to ice my knees. And it got to the point there where I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, there's only so much of being a man you can be without waking up in so much pain that it's not fun. Nothing became fun. The job I love is not fun. I then met Peter through one of my best friends, Patrick. And he told us about this sticker, shall we say. And I was like, "What's that?" And pretty much the story goes along, this helps you, increase your own personal stem cells. That's how the conversation started. So cut a long story short, I went in, got some of these stickers, these plasters or band-aids, what you want to call them. And I didn't really know the science. And obviously that came later. And then I fell in love with the company. But by me wearing the patches, within, I want to say, a week, 2 weeks, the pain that I've been having for over a year had literally cut in 50%. And more and more I started wearing these patches. I even doubled up some of these times. Within a couple of months, I had no pain at all, to the point where I went back for an MRI for my neck, and they were like, "Your neck's not that bad anymore. Do you still have stiff neck?" And I was like, "No, not really. It's really smooth." And then my knees, which were the worst. I've only, when this all happened, I was 34, 35. So having really bad knee pain in your prime, it sucks. And so at that point, I was very grateful that I can now go back to work. I'm not icing my knees anymore. I'm doing more work than I've ever done before. I'm back in the gym doing heavy lifting. I squat now, which I never squatted before. And that's all down to the X39 in a short way. It's a short story, but
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jax, I want everyone just to imagine, okay, to get hit by a truck in the back, to almost die, to get $100,000 of injections everywhere in your body, and to be able to still feel pain. And imagine, I mean, Jackson's a strong man, okay? He's not like me, okay? So, but I'm like, how do you, and then when we met, and I did not even know how much pain he was in. We literally just gave him the patches, but that was my time when I was starting, I was a year 2. And then I really knew the power of this X39, but Jackson just gave you a short version because there's a lot of things that gone through his body, right, Jackson? I mean, you can share a little bit more if you want through that.
Yeah. What else has helped as well is like my hair. So my hair was
wow.
So that's yeah. So my hair was really thinning, like started to get, unfortunately it runs in my family. It's the DNA that we have. The men in my my grandfather, a lot of them went bald, and they were bald by the age of 30. So by the time I hit 30, my head started thinning. But since been on the patches, it's like it's stopped, if that makes sense. And even in the show, like it's just I have a lot healthier hair, and even my skin has changed dramatically, especially within the first like 7 months. I would say like my skin completely changed. Like it was a lot tighter, should we say. Energy levels is increased. Even when you go hard in the gym, my job means I have to be on top of my health. And the way my body's developing now as an older man, like I'm coming up to 40, and it's like it's stopped getting older. Without it sound cringy, it's like I feel youthful. I feel very youthful. That's what I mean to say. Yeah.
And and when you started, I mean, you shared this with a lot of your entertainment friends, a lot of the Circus du Soleil, a lot of Olympians, and can you share some of the results? I mean, you have a lot of friends that are on it just benefiting.
Of course. We'll start with one of my good friends, Wayne. His brother, he's an amputee. He lost his leg. He's in the army, and he's basically had phantom pain for like years, a long time. I don't know the exact amount of time, but it's been years, where he would be sleeping and he'd be kicking, but there's nothing to kick because his leg's been, it's been amputated. But his dreams and nightmares as well. But since he's been on the patches, he has no more phantom pain, which you can't write this stuff. And even the doctors were like flabbergasted on the information or what's going on with his body. That's just one example. The other one was my friend tore his bicep, and they were saying that you need to go and have it worked on, have surgery. He was on the patches for 3 weeks, went back, and he was like, I feel like my arm's getting better now. And they were like, okay, well, let's put you on a treatment plan, like all this. But the patches stopped him from having surgery. Even he knows that. I've got so many people with migraines. Like we're helping with people with migraines, people with a friend of ours, Dylan, he's also part of the company now. His mum had eczema so bad on her legs that the only time she'd ever have relief was when she dips herself in the sea, believe it or not, because of the salty water. But she's been traveling around the world, had the best creams, the best dermatology, like everything. Her story is quite amazing as well. It's been like 20 years of this problem. So she came on, she had aloe vera and X39. And within a month, it cleared up. Now she wears skirts again because she only ever wore trousers, pants. Yeah, so many incredible stories. Like the doctors we have over in New York, they're absolutely doing insane. They've brought on board hundreds of doctors now, and everyone's helping people one patch at a time. Don't knock it until you try it. That's all I can ever say.
And when it comes from someone who's born in the UK, they don't deal with BS. So you got to trust that, okay? Jackson, I think it's been a pleasure for everyone to see you tonight. We all miss you here, and we're going to give everyone a surprise when you come back, okay, in a few months. We love you, and thank you for coming on.